Sometimes it may just be because of maybe you have a beautiful aura around you. Everybody else is praising, everybody else says something great about you, and because of that, they just hate you for that. Look, when that happens, the first thing you have to avoid is don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself. If you are good, you are good. Don't blame yourself for a bully's action. The issue has to do with the bully. It has nothing to do with you. As long as you keep doing your job with excellence and precision and hitting your targets, you are good. And that is what you came there for. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to handle workplace bullies. Trust me, as you journey through your career, especially in the beginning, there is a very high chance that you are going to run into a workplace bully. For me, it's a given. You're going to run through, especially if you move from maybe one organization to another, one department to another, or even if you choose to stay. Different people come and go in an organization. So you need to be prepared to know how you will handle yourself when confronted with a mean bully. So I remember very, very early on in my career, I was working for a company in Manchester in England, very, very renowned company at that time. And then this was very, very early on in my career. Unfortunately, I moved from one department to another, and I happened to report to somebody who was a bully. I didn't even understand, the mechanisms and the way they do it. At first, it was very subtle, subtle gestures here and there. But because for me, I thought I had developed such a thick skin. I'd come from very, very tough background, being that, obviously I was from Africa, studying in UK and then beginning a career there. So I thought, I had taken, I could take anything, basically. But I was very wrong in my thinking. So this subtle thing began to develop into more kind of in-your-face kind of bullying. And it didn't really help, when it got to a point where it became like group bullying, because this person ended up recruiting 2 additional people, and unfortunately, sisters, these 3 people were ladies, who kind of is like a gang up, it's like a pack of wolves around some kind of sheep or goat, whatever it is. It's like you have no chance to survive. But thank God I did. But the experience was not fun. I believe my upbringing, the way I've been, the experiences that I had prior to that event, prior to me working for that company, actually came in to help me a lot, because I had built a very, very, very thick skin when it comes to people making kind of overt gestures and in-your-face gestures. I wasn't really moved. So in the end, it didn't work. But I sit back here thinking that, wow, if somebody else had gone through what I had gone through, they probably wouldn't have survived. The reason was this. To me, it didn't even cross my mind to seek help at the workplace. It didn't cross my mind, because this lady, as I was made to understand, was dating, it was in a finance setting, it was in a very, very big group, finance and treasury function of very, very giant organization. And this lady at that time was the financial controller, whom I reported to. And she was, quote unquote, or as I was made to understand by everyone, it was an open secret that she was going out with the CFO, Chief Finance Officer. And the CFO was like as big and magnanimous as you could get in the organization. I think he even carried more clout than the CEO himself. The way he carried himself, like he was like a mini god in the organization of close to 20,000 employees. Me, a little tiny cog at that time, I stood no chance. So I just had to bite the bullet and try to take it one day at a time. Things worked in my favor. Things worked in my favor eventually. In the end, what happened was I managed to get an opportunity outside of that organization. Very, very awesome opportunity. You know, it's like, wow, there's this nice package, nice work environment. And the very day I tendered in my resignation, and I had to give my 30-day notice, as is the custom in UK. That very day, the moment I turned it in, within hours, it was announced that our competitor at that time was acquiring our business, or had acquired our business overnight. So guess what? All those 3 ladies were fired because of the acquisition. They were fired. And I was on my way out to a new company that was going to treat me well, pay me better and everything. So it ended up super good for me, but sometimes not so for everybody else. So as you begin to journey through your career and you encounter bullies, this is how you deal with it. First of all, once you start thinking that, look, this thing is becoming like a bully, it moves away from your job performance to petty comment about your personality, who you are, and that kind of thing. And even one of the main ways that you see signs of a potential bully, especially if that person is going to be a direct report, you report directly to them, is that anytime you do something good, and everybody even seems to talk about the fact that, wow, you've done amazing, they will be the only standout. They will be the ones who will not give you credit for anything you've done. Or at most, they will be silent. They won't say anything. They won't say nothing when you are being praised by the department. When you even receive awards, bullies will typically say nothing. But if you make the slightest of mistake, or which all of us do, and all of us will, because we are humans, if you slip, no matter how tiny and insignificant it is, they are going to grab the sledgehammer, a massive sledgehammer, and hit you with it for that. And it's going to go on over and over and over and over again. When I was younger, I didn't know why people would be so mean to other people like that. But this is human beings. Human beings can be nasty. Human beings too can be extremely nice. So what you need to do is, when you begin to start picking up the signals, most of the time, the people that are doing the bullying, that are doing the intimidation and those kind of things, they are typically sick in their brains. And they won't tell you that, and you wouldn't know that. They may be wearing suit and tie, or wearing beautiful lady dress and that kind of thing, but they are really sick people. Typically, they have deep-seated emotional, or in some cases, combination of emotional and mental issues going on. They may be highly depressed, going through anxiety problems, or they may be having serious self-esteem issues. Sometimes it's just plain and overt hatred for you, maybe because of your background, maybe, unfortunately, sometimes it may even be because of your color or the way you talk. Sometimes it may just be because of maybe you have a beautiful aura around you. Everybody else is praising, everybody else says something great about you, and because of that, they just hate you for that. Look, when that happens, the first thing you have to avoid is don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself. If you are good, you are good. Don't blame yourself for a bully's action. The issue has to do with the bully. It has nothing to do with you. As long as you keep doing your job with excellence and precision and hitting your targets, you are good. And that is what you came there for. So the issue is when you see somebody is bullying you at the workplace and it's affecting you, and the issue is that if you leave things like that is going to affect your mental health. And unfortunately, it can transcend from mental health into your physical health. And that you don't want to joke with that. You don't want to be there and just suck it in and suck it in and suck it in and suck it in. At some point, you will reach a threshold, we call it the tipping point or your breaking point. It will either break you or it will break the bully. You have to make that choice. That this thing, yes, okay, I will manage it. I'll manage it. It gets to a point, it goes beyond management that you don't have to manage. You have to find a way to address the issue. And how do you address this issue? The first thing you do is, sometimes, in my case, I wasn't the only one noticing that I was being bullied. There were other people around. There were work colleagues around. Sometimes we go for lunch and dinner, and you find people come to you and say, "Hey, Isaac, I appreciate what you do. You're really doing an amazing job, and we appreciate you for being here. Even the smiles on your face alone when I see you, and you, that broad smile that you have just makes my day, man. Keep on doing what you're doing. Where you are working may not be the best of places, but just hanging tight. One opportunity will come, and then you either get to a better place or you get to a better boss." So all these suggestions were being made to me. And unfortunately for me, anytime I even attempted to move from one department to the other, this bully, because she was so powerful in the organization, will get to know about it and just stamp on it and just destroy that opportunity. It happened a couple of times. So it's like, wow, I was kept in some kind of workplace prison. But thank God, she didn't have the final say. She later on apologized to me. So a few years back, after I'd left, she wrote me an email to apologize. But with that said, what I'm saying is that when you are faced with a workplace bully, the first thing that you do is confide in some of your work colleagues around you, especially those who understand you, those that you get along with easily, those who you trust. Talk to some of them, because keeping it in yourself will drive you crazy. So get somebody that you can at least bounce off certain things to, who can probably encourage you, may even have the networks, may even have the connections to be able to point you to take this step or that step, right? So you have to build a coalition of people who see what is going on. So you are building a case. It's like you are having a pool of witnesses to be witnessing some of the things that you go through on a daily basis, right? So you need to have eyes watching your back for you. So start speaking to people that, look, I'm going through this. I don't know. I don't think it's right. What do you think? That kind of thing. And most of the time, they'll pick it up and say, yeah, we noticed that, she talks to you, or he talks to you very bad in the presence of people. He bangs his fist on your desk, and he does this and he does that. He says very derogatory things against you all the time, and that is not right. You need people around. Number two, if your company has a very strong HR, which most big companies do, you would either be assigned an HR business partner or HR manager who is responsible for your division. If you have that, that's amazing. Immediately, don't relax. Don't sit back. Go and talk to your HR business partner about it. That, look, I'm going through this issue. I'm going through that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going through this issue, therefore I need help. What should I do? HR is trained. HR is trained to respond to issues like that. And why does HR do that? Let me turn this thing off. All right. So apologies for that. So HR is trained to help employees go over this hurdle. Why? Because the company is in their best interest to make sure that there's no one is maltreating any other employee. Why? If you go report to HR and they do nothing about it, in many jurisdictions, many countries, that is grounds enough for lawsuit against the organization because something nefarious was going on. The company didn't act. Maybe something untold happened to you, or even nothing happened to you, but you decided, you were just mentally exhausted. You can pick up a lawsuit, talk to your attorney, of course, but I think it's in many jurisdictions, it can be a grounds for a massive lawsuit against the organization. Yes, the organization may be able to pay or compensate you, but that is not the issue. The damage will be when it goes out into the public that an employee was being bullied and the organization did nothing about it. That could destroy the reputation of the company, and good talent wouldn't want to work there. So companies are very careful when issues of abuse are reported. So typically, you report to the HR business partner. The HR business partner will carry it up the chain and they will address the issue. If you have a smaller organization that doesn't have a very strong HR function, whoever is bullying you, look for somebody above him or above her, if she's a lady, and you go talk to that person, talk to the boss, because it's the same motivation. It may be a smaller company, but they don't want to have the reputation of people saying that this company encourages bullying. It's not in their interest. Number two, they could be sued. So they are very, very careful whether and this transcends. It could also be sexual abuse as well. So you don't have to sit there and go through things like that. So now you seek to speak to either the HR or either the bullies direct report or somebody above them, right? Okay. With that said, before you go to HR or before you go talk to somebody who is higher up the chain, you need to do your homework very well. You don't want to go and just conjecture, right? Just go and babble and just say things, and this person said, and this person said, because what's going to happen? They're going to investigate. So what you're going to do is that you're going to prepare, maybe take a day or two, catalog everything that has happened, right? If you have emails to back you up, print them up or save them somewhere. Ideally, print them with you. Staple them together. This is an email. I did this, they said that, or he said that, and did this, and did it. And after I did it, this is what he said. Write everything down verbatim. You may carry 2 pages of notes. Everything. How long it's been going on for. And what has your reaction been? And most importantly, what were you feeling at that time? When that happened, did you cry? Did other people see that the tears were rolling down your face? How many times has that happened? Write all of them down. Write the emotion and then go in that, carry that document, carry that evidence, and then go into that meeting with that boss or HR. If that is the time to be emotional, though, because emotions, we are human beings, is good to be emotional. God gave us emotions for a reason. If you need to be emotional, just don't lie. Because as much as somebody is doing something bad to you, the flip side is don't lie on them also. Be honest, right? Just communicate truly what you feel. So you go in there and you catalog specifically. And if, let's say, there's a medical issue that has come up with you as a result of what you're going through, be open. Open up to your HR that, look, since I came to work in this organization, I never had this, or I never had to go through that. Now, I have a referral, I'm going through this kind of medical treatment, or I'm going through this maybe family counseling, or whatever it is. Bring it to the fore. You are bringing ammunition to the table. Bring it to the fore. So that is what the HR business partner wants. They want all this evidence. And after they get all this evidence, 1 or 2 things will happen. They may speak to the perpetrator in your absence because they have evidence from you. Or they may call you both into a meeting as part of the investigation. When that happens, the ball game changes entirely. Your approach to that meeting must be different from your approach to when you went to sit with your HR or you went to sit with that big boss who supervises this bully, right? The approach is going to be different. This time around, you're going to come across as somebody who's had enough. And you are going to come across somebody, you're going to approach as a person of strength. You see, what bullies really can't stand, or what actually dissipates and neutralizes a bully, is confrontation. Whenever a bully is confronted, they either exit the door or they get neutralized. One of both. A bully can't stand confrontation. So, what you do in that case is it's not that you're going to fight or you're going to be insulting. No. But you're going to be assertive. You're going to stand your ground for the first time. Okay? You're going to stand, and when you do it that night, when you go to bed, you will sleep good. Trust me. So what's going to happen is that the HR is going to say, okay, Isaac came and reported to us that he's been going through X, Y, and Z, and it's as a result of the treatment that you've been treating him, blah, 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 blah. Our company policy states that our company, our handbook or our policy frowns on workplace bullying. That is why we take workplace bullying very seriously. So we want to give you the benefit of the doubt and also ask your version of the matter. And that person, typically they will deny, or they will downplay it, or they will pin it on the fact that you are not a good performer. But look, if you're a good performer, your team knows you're a good performer. Your KPIs, your annual performance reviews will show that you're a good performer, right? So that person will have no air in their statement at all. So as they begin to do they will ask you of your opinion as well. That is not the period to chicken out. That is not, because you see, what bullying does is that bullying, it diverts negative energy into you, and then you start blaming yourself. You start thinking, hey, maybe is it me? Maybe I deserve it. Maybe I deserve. Look, you don't deserve no trash like that from anybody. You were created in the image and likeness of God. And you don't deserve anybody to treat you like a piece of trash. You don't. You are somebody who is a valuable person, valuable individual. Your contribution to the organization is valued. That's why you are still there. If you were not contributing to the value, they would have kicked you out of the door already, especially if it's a private sector organization. So you are valued. Most of the time, there are people around you who value you, your work colleagues, your higher-ups. There are many people in the organization. They may not vocally voice it out, but you are valued. Even if they are not voicing it out, believe that you are created in the image and likeness of God. God loves you, therefore you are valued. So at this meeting, you are going to posture like that. That I'm not a doormat, I'm not a carpet for somebody to just walk over me like that. So you're going to say, look, let's say that person's name is John, and you sit right across. HR is there, or your boss is there, and John is sitting across. You say, John, I put so much pressure on myself to be the best I possibly can. I have done it to the best of my ability. I believe my work speaks for itself. I've not had any complaints from anybody in the organization, but how you treat me makes me feel like a piece of trash. I have no words to describe it. I have pondered over it many nights to see whether it's me or not. But I realize that you are the only person that treats me that way. That makes me, that belittles me, that makes me feel inferior. And I think that is wrong. I think I have something to contribute to this organization. I may be small, I may be serving a very small unit of the organization. Yet I believe that my contribution is important. My presence here alone makes somebody's day. My presence here moves the needle. So I don't agree that my presence is not required. I don't agree that my work output is not good. I believe that I have a contribution, a positive contribution to deliver in this organization, to make this place an awesome place to work for everybody, and also to bring in the resources, or to bring in the money to further up this business along those lines. And then you stand and say, look, the only way I interpret what you've been doing to me is plain and simple, is bullying. And I'm calling it as it is. I feel bullied. I feel intimidated. I feel, when you treat me like that, I feel inferior. And that is wrong. And I'm not going to sit down for that to happen to me again from today. Yes, I know this is the place that I derive my income and everything, but my life is more important than any of those. I believe there are people in this organization who are decent, who are honorable, and I respect them for who they are. And I thank God for their lives every day, for being around me. I believe this organization doesn't tolerate bullying. I believe it's an organization that stands for fairness and equity. Therefore, today is the last day I will stand and be bullied. If I've done something, yes, constructive criticism I welcome. But don't bully me just because you want a target, you want a punching bag. I will not be your punching bag anymore. And you tell that person in their face. From that day on, I don't even know what HR is going to do. Probably a couple of things may happen. They may just leave. They may just resign. Because when bullies are found out, it's so embarrassing to them that typically they can't stand. So they will go. Or if they choose to stay, they will be under the radar of HR. They will be under everybody's radar. They will go back into their cocoon, typically. Or they may give you a different department or a different boss who will be way, way better than the bully. And I think that is the secret. So I don't want you to stay one day longer being bullied. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. It's not worth your mental health. It's not worth your physical health for whatever money they will give to you. Take action. Take action. When you take action and resolve this, it will help. Your confidence will be boosted up. If you stay too long, it will damage your confidence in yourself. It will damage you physically. It will damage you emotionally as well. All right. If you found this content great, I want you to subscribe to this channel. And I want you to watch my other videos at this right here on this screen. And I think you derive so much value. Thank you so much for your time.